Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Ashe updated complete guide, if we can actually get our friends list out of the way. So basically the main change here is obviously we have Kraken Slayer buffed and Shield Bow buffed, and I'm going to be including them in the build as you guys can see here. So of course, I've always felt that Kraken Slayer was Ashe's best rune, but I always felt that, you know, Lethal Tempo is really good as well. So you know, I went with Lethal Tempo for my last guide, but truly I always felt Kraken Slayer was better, and I feel it's amazing that he got buffed because, of course, Ashe is gonna benefit a lot from it. I actually think Ashe is a pretty strong but underrated champion at the moment. Ever since like the Bloodthirster buff, I actually think Ashe was actually really strong. Just that most people still think she's a really weak champion. And yeah, so let's just get straight into it. But actually, before we get to that, don't forget to take a look at Ashe's basic guide for her skills, leveling order tips and tricks, as well as some combos that I'll put up in the cards above. Okay, so now let's actually jump straight into it. So here we first start off with the Gluttonous Greaves, of course. This gives you the AD as well as the Omnivamp, and then you actually have two options for your first item. You can either go straight into Shield Bow, or you can go for Bloodthirster. So basically, these two items' position can be swapped. But I do think getting Shield Bow early, and by early I mean either first item or third item, I think it's important because Ashe has like basically no mobility. She does of course have slows, and you know, she can peel with her ult and such, but she's very vulnerable to dying. So I like going for actually Shield Bow as a first item to get that shield in the early game, and this will help a lot in terms of surviving. Like there are so many situations where Shield Bow is going to save your life. We might even see some of it in the gameplay later on, but Shield Bow, very useful item. Of course, aside from getting that huge shield, you also get really good stats like 40 AD, 15% attack speed, 5% physical vamp. It's still pretty decent stats. And then we want to go into Runaan's Hurricane. The Runaan's Hurricane is a really important item for Ashe. I mean, number one, it's still bugged and increases the attack range, but number two, you can attack 3 people at the same time, which of course means you can apply Ashe's slow to 3 people at the same time, and it pretty much is just a really strong item here. So next up, then you want to go for your Bloodthirster. Of course, Bloodthirster is a really strong item. Gives you still a lot of AD, physical vamp, and additional stats when you're high on health. And then your last two items is going to be, of course, your Maul Reminder and your IE. Maul Reminder, of course, for the Armor Pen and the Grievous Wounds, and your IE, of course, for the increased crit damage as well as the huge amount of AD. So what order you build those last two items in is really completely dependent on how tanky the enemy team is. If they have a lot of tanky champions as well as of course healing, you of course want to go for a Maul Reminder first. But if they do not, you could of course go for one of the components. So for example, if they have a lot of healing, you could just go for the Executioner's Calling and then go straight into the IE, or you could of course go for Last Whisper if they're really tanky but don't have healing, and then go into IE. And of course, you know, if they have neither, you can always go IE first. But most of the time, you're gonna need Maul Reminder at this point. Is what I've seen from playing all the Ashe games. So, runes, as I mentioned, Kraken Slayer. Now Ashe has a decent amount of attack speed already. Of course, over here, and also we did take the Blood Knight in the gameplay, but we should have been taking Alacrity for the attack speed here, but I kind of messed it up, but I didn't do my runes in time. But anyways, you should be taking Alacrity here for the attack speed. Of course, Giant Slayer for the extra damage, as well as Brutal, of course, because you auto attack a lot. And here, of course, as I said, Kraken Slayer, you're gonna get a lot of AD. Of course, it's gonna scale very well, 40% bonus AD. You get AD here, 35, 40. This one gives like a negligible 15, but of course you got 50, 55, and another 30 here. So a lot of AD in your build. You're gonna scale with very well the Kraken Slayer, and you can definitely see and feel the Kraken Slayer damage as you are attacking. And yeah, so of course bone plating for the blocking the combo damage, and you know lane, you know, and late game assassins, blah blah blah, etc. Pretty much just the best secondary rune for ADCs. I feel like I have to explain this every video, but yeah, pretty much bone plating is like the best rune for secondary. And then we have Flash, and lastly we have Ghost. Now Ghost really important here to number one, run down enemies, and number two, run away from enemies. I found Ghost to be pretty much the best spell on Ashe. You can and should take Exhaust in certain circumstances. Like in this match, I was against a Tristana, and I should have taken Exhaust, but my Rakan had Exhaust, so I didn't take it because he had it. So I was trusting my Rakan to, you know, exhaust Tristana when she's about to bomb me. But I don't know if that actually ever happened in the match. But anyways, with all that said, let's actually jump into our gameplay. Okay, so now jumping into the gameplay. So once again, Ashe is another one of those kind of champions that your support doesn't quite matter too much. Like, you don't mind engage, you don't mind enchanter, you don't really mind anything. But what's a lot more important in my experience is who the enemy lane matchup is. So I found that Ashe has really good success against like basically all-in kind of champions. So basically she's very good against Draven, she's very good against Tristana, these sort of lanes. Speaking of which, we've chunked Tristana to a decent amount. Seraphine shows up in lane, starts attacking us. Rakan exhausts the Seraphine for some reason instead of Tristana, and Tristana exhausts me. So I try to flash away, but the last auto attack follows, and I do end up dying. Rakan trades the kill, but overall not too good because we used both sums. We died, and our support got the kill. Now, you know, just now I briefly mentioned that I wanted to take exhaust versus Tristana because you have to take exhaust versus Tristana for her bomb. But I trusted my Rakan to do it, and obviously the trust was not well placed because he decided to exhaust the Seraphine, who doesn't actually do any damage because she already used her spells. So that was kind of a disaster. Anyways, back to what I was trying to say, which is basically the fact that Ashe, she does very well against lanes where people want to all-in. So champions like Draven, like Tristana, these sound like risky champions to want to play against, but really it's because you outrange them by a decent amount. So they basically can never all-in you if you play it correctly, and the support is the same. Like, optimal support to play against is like those engaged support. So if you're playing against like Nautilus, Leona, Thresh, those kind of champions, that's very ideal. So the most ideal lane you can play against is like a very scary looking lane, something that looks like a Leona Draven, for example. You will do very well against that lane because as long as you don't allow Leona to engage on you, you can just poke them out. They're going to be permanently low HP and they can never go in, and you can even possibly get a kill if your jungler helps. If your jungle doesn't help, it's quite rare Ashe gets kills in lane unless enemy makes a mistake, which of course does happen. But yeah. So here, once again, you can see why Ashe doesn't really like to play against Enchantress, because basically when I try to poke Seraphine or whatnot, she can poke me back. So we're kind of trading health equally, which is not what we really want to do. But whereas we see, look at Tristana. We just W her, she can't do anything about it. We can walk up and auto attack her. She can't do anything about that neither. So because of that, you do really well against these kind of matchups, which is kind of surprising because you wouldn't think like Ashe is really good against Draven, for example, but she really is. Like, I've destroyed so many Dravens just by playing Ashe, which is kind of fun. But yeah, Ashe is definitely my go-to pick when I play against a Draven or something like that. And this match against Tristana, sign me up for some Ashe gameplay. Okay, so now the lane phase is pretty tame. Obviously, we have a Rakan who is kind of a go-in kind of support. So, you know, he's not going to be really doing much aside from going in. So here we are both level 5 now, but the issue is that the enemy team are both under a tower, so we don't really want to force anything. So I'm just going to back and get my Gluttonous Greaves as well as another longsword so that we have a little bit more kind of early game power. So here you can see Rakan decides to disrupt Tristana. So Tristana makes a huge mistake by chasing Rakan because I can come in with my ulti. I know Rakan gets a free knockup into a free ulti and we get a free kill onto Tristana. Or we thought it was a free kill until she flashed away. So I'm going to have to actually flash after her to get the kill now. And Rakan's pretty low, so he's running away. And now we can get another kill onto the Seraphine. So we pick up the double, tanking a tower shot in the process, which of course attracts the attention of Kayn. But we got the ghost reset, so we're running away. We actually hit a slow, and Rakan actually manages to see him. He gets greedy and tanks a tower shot, and pretty much fumbles the bag and ends up dying. So just like that, we picked up a triple kill, all based off of Tristana's mistake. So as I said, when the enemy team makes a mistake, it's really easy to get a kill on Ashe. And the reason that is because Ashe has slows on her auto attack. So the moment the enemy team steps up too far and your first slow hits, you're going to run them down and they're going to have a slow and painful death of getting run down by like low damage auto attacks and getting slowed. And they know they're going to die, but if they don't have sums, they're just going to die anyway. In this case, even though she did have sums, we still were able to flash after the Tristana and kill her and then turn back onto the rest of them. And Kayn, also another mistake, tanking the tower shot and being too greedy. So yeah, off to a pretty good start, aside from, you know, of course, that drastic, horrible level 1, but now it's all good. So of course we're getting decently fed. We got double buffs now, which is why I'm playing super aggressive, because with the red buff you can do so much extra damage when you land your poke. And you know, I'm ready to just poke people down. Obviously they know that as well, so they're kind of staying far away. So far away that they're not even in my W range. Here Tristana puts the bomb on me, and when that happens, I just want to walk away because I don't want to take too much damage. And you know, letting the bomb explode on me is going to be quite a significant amount of damage if I let her charge it up. So here objectives have spawned. I'm just going to push out the wave first. My team is going for the Rift Herald, so I'm just going to stay here and pretty much just clear waves and stuff. I see Tristana backing, so obviously I'm not going to allow that to happen. I don't know where Seraphine is. I'm going to assume that she has roamed. Rakan also has roamed as well, but he looks like he's not committed to the roam, so he's coming back because there doesn't appear to be a contest on the Rift Herald, so Akali does pick up the Rift Herald. And meanwhile, I'm still in the lane, I should say, and Rakan is coming back to the lane. So here he's setting a trap. So here, because the enemy team doesn't know where he is, so I'm trying to actually bait them in here, but they're not really falling for the trap, unfortunately. Maybe they have vision in the bush that Rakan's in. But yeah, I try my best to bait, but it doesn't really quite work out. So here Dragon is now still up, of course, and Tryndamere is now on it. So here I'm just trying to quickly clear out the wave so that I can rotate and not lose my minions, especially as a cannon. So I get the cannon, I'm going to now rotate. Try to DPS the Dragon just a little bit. And the Dragon is pretty much secure, so here I'm just roaming to mid and seeing if I can get anything done. I do get the assist onto Seraphine. Akali picks up the kill, I believe. Or actually, Rakan picks up the kill. And yeah, Seraphine is down, and Tristana is now kind of just left alone. So here she tries to bomb me again. I hit the arrow, which I thought Rakan could follow up on, but Rakan ends up not. But he does tank a tower shot though, which allows me to actually flash after her to chase. She ends up escaping, and Tryndamere gets bombed away by her ulti. Excuse me. So it kind of did not really work out there. But regardless, we are going to be able to get quite a bit of tower platings, or maybe even the whole tower, because Seraphine just revived, and Tristana has to back because she has no HP. So here we're just going to quickly down the tower, so we do get the entire tower. And honestly, I believe we could have just stuck around for the wave as well. What are they going to do against the three of us? But since my support and my jungle does not want to stick around, I'm going to have to back as well, because I can't really farm the minions by myself and be at risk of getting engaged on. So here we complete the shield bow, and of course also the recurve bow component of my hurricane. So now I once again headed back to lane. So here all we really need to do is push out, and we can actually roam elsewhere. Now especially because Akali is roaming. So here I'm just checking. We spot Tristana. Rakan actually interrupts the back, gets the knock up into my stun, into his charm. Her shield bow procs, but she's gonna get slowly run down. She tries to ult me away, but doesn't quite work out, and we are able to pick up the kill. So beautiful CC chain from me and Rakan, and really good on him to stop that recall at the very last moment. And here we are gonna pick up the next wave as well. And while waiting for our next wave to push in, we're just going to get the enemy Gromp. So far the game has been going very swimmingly, basically because we've more or less only encountered Tristana and Seraphine. We have not yet interacted with Kayn, Teemo, or Sett. So anyways, here we are able to push in all the way to their tower. They have obviously just revived, and here we're not sure where Kayn is, so we kind of want to back off here, because Kayn could be somewhere near here. We don't have vision. We last saw him mid, or actually we do have vision. He's actually at top. I don't know what I was talking about here. But anyways, we can't push down the tower regardless, because Tristana and Seraphine are gonna defend it. So in the meanwhile, here we're seeing if we can set up a trap here with anybody moving. We can see her doing the wolves, and we don't allow that. We take the big wolf for ourselves, and yeah. So here I tried to get the ulti on, but Akali didn't even need my ulti. She actually just picked up the kill full on without the ulti, and the ulti ends up hitting Kayn by accident, which did kind of reveal him to be on the red buff. Not too important though, because we can't really do anything about it anyways. I want to back here, but the next wave is here, so we're gonna just quickly clear out this wave, and then we can back for Runan's Hurricane. And of course, 2 items with Runan's Hurricane is a really big power spike for Ashe. So Runan's Hurricane completed. Now we can attack like 3 people at the same time, pretty much. And now we're gonna hit back out to mid lane, since Akali is in our lane, so we're just gonna quickly clear out the minions and just continue pushing, because we can see Kayn at the bot side. You know, we have 2 people dead, and we can see like 2 people on the top side, so no one here to stop us. We're just gonna quickly get the tower and get the minions while we're at it. huge goal into my pocket. And Kayn is starting to become a problem. You can see he's on the killing spree. He has red form, but he has gone for mana immune, so really kind of interesting build here. Looks like he kind of wanted to go blue, but he has red instead. He does have Conqueror though, so I'm not sure. Maybe he's going for like a red Kayn with a damage build, but really strange stuff. Anyways, here, he's kind of becoming a problem, but he does get killed by Pantheon eventually. He's definitely going to be a problem for us later on, because Kayn is always going to be a problem, even if he is in the red form. Of course, it's a little bit easier to deal with than the blue form, but still an issue. So here, we're going to try to get a pick onto Teemo. I hit the arrow onto him, pop the Ghost to run forward. I get the kill on him with the Ghost movement speed. I'm going to dodge Seraphine's spells. I get ulted away by Tristana like for the third time this game, so we're not going to be able to get her, but we do get the Seraphine. Now here, Set does pop the ulti, and I try to flash away, but I do end up dying to the Set. Pantheon and Rakan are going to follow suit. And here, Kali and Tryndamere try to go in to try to clean up the fight. Doesn't really look like that's happening though. Tryndamere gets CC'd, just pops this ult just in time, and is going for the rundown, and does get the Kayn, but Set Sterix procs, so he does not get the Set. So now we have another problem, which is the Set. The Set, you can see, is at the same amount of gold as us. He has Black Cleaver into Sterix Gauge, and just based off of that fight alone, we can see that Set is an issue. So this game, our two main issues are pretty much going to be Set and Kayn. The rest of the enemy team are kind of not too useful. Tristana is kind of feeding, Seraphine's feeding, Teemo's feeding as well, and really we only need to watch out for the two melee champions on their team, who are both posing pretty big problems. So here Rakan goes in, but I know there's someone in that bush, so I can't actually walk there. It's actually Set. I get charmed, and Tristana tries to jump in, but gets charmed into stun, exhausted, and just dies. Hate to see it as an ADC. Pulled the trigger at the wrong time, and does end up just going down. So here, the next dragon is up, so we're trying to, of course, go for the dragon. Now here, I know that enemy team is coming to contest, so I was thinking of blast planting in, but I was like, nah, I don't have flash, and I'm gonna get trapped in the pit, so instead I just attack from over the wall. I popped the Ghost to try to help my team, but my team is kind of already dying without me anyway, so I think that honestly I made the right choice not to blast plant in, because if I did, enemy team would just probably get another kill. Like, I don't think I would have really made a difference in that pit, but of course it's really hard to say. But anyways, what we're doing here is we're going to just continue farming, and I see a huge wave in mid, so I don't want that to go to waste and just die to my minions. So I'm going to head over to mid and clear that wave first before I back and probably can get my Bloodthirster. So just checking, because I don't really know where people are, so I want to see if anyone's there. Nobody home. And now we can back and complete our Bloodthirster.
Seek peace, but bring the tools of war.
So I was initially waiting for Tryndamere to come take red buff, but he went to blue side for some reason. I think most junglers normally will go red side first, because red buff is the more important buff as a jungler. Anyways, he completes blue, and he is headed over here, so I'm just going to wait for him to just come over and smite the blue so I can just take it. Oh, sorry, smite the red so that I can just take it. And another fight breaks out here, so here I'm trying to see if I can help. I get the ulti onto the Set. Set gets a full charged W into the face with the true damage. Does about half my health, which is a lot, but it's honestly kind of less than I expected. But of course not going to complain about that. So one problem has been gotten rid of. Not really gotten rid of, but he kind of just runs away, but he's not really here anyway. So now the next problem comes in, which is the Kayn. Kills the Akali, and I'm trying to kill him. He does get CC'd by Rakan and does die. Now the issue is that I can't really fight Kayn alone. I need Rakan or maybe Pantheon to CC him, and that's the only way I can really take him down. So now with the Kayn dead, this is prime time to just do Baron. Now Set is alive, and the rest of the team is also alive. But we take down the Baron pretty quickly, and they're not really even coming to contest. Here Set pops the Warden, and here I'm just kiting the Set out. You can see that he's not able to really attack me. I'm just kiting him out. And Teemo shows up, so I'm going to have to quickly flash out because I'm blinded and I can't really do any damage. My shield wall procs, unfortunately, and here I'm getting the ulti onto the Set for my team to finish off. They don't actually finish him off, and Set actually gets off an ult, but I am able to personally finish him off and also get a shutdown. Ashe E really useful for removing Teemo shrooms. I don't know why Pantheon stepped into the shroom despite the fact that he could see it there. But yeah, so now we're going to get both components, and I'm actually going to complete our Maul Reminder first before we go for IE, because as I said, the main problem is Set and Kayn. Set, of course, really tanky. Kayn, a lot of healing. So we want to get the Maul Reminder to deal with them. This is why I sit in my build that most of the time you're always going to need to go for Maul Reminder by this point. Because generally, there's going to be someone on the enemy team who's tanky or has a lot of healing. So once again, just using E constantly to just check for enemies. You can use it to just check bushes and stuff as well, which is what I did here. And here I get the ulti onto Tristana to get a pick together with the Akali. And we get the tower next. Now we're going to just continue pushing on with our Baron buff. A little bit risky here, so my team kind of starts backing off. I'm trying to lifesteal off the minions here, but I'm taking a little bit of poke from the Seraphine. Triple cannons, I'm just sticking around to let the cannons do the work. We don't necessarily have to do anything. Akali ends up dying to Teemo and the Ignite. Rakan goes in for people on the tower. I'm able to finish off the Seraphine, and using the movement speed from my Ghost, I'm also able to sidestep here. Now here I thought Kayn was dead, but look at this healing plus damage. That was insane. Like, he was 1 HP, he got a 3-man knockup and healed up, and now he's like running away. Thankfully though, looks like he's gonna die. Not quite. Tryndamere is chasing all the way in. Eventually he does get him, but Tryndamere is gonna trade for it. Before he dies, he does manage to proc Tristana's shield bow, I believe. Yep, he did. So at least he got something out of Tristana, because he was not gonna escape that anyway. So it's better to just get an enemy cooldown than try to escape when there's no chance of you escaping anyway. So good play by the Tryndamere there. Here, Pantheon picks up the red buff, which is pretty unfortunate because means that we don't get it, and Tryndamere of course won't get it neither. Whereas, this guy isn't too fat. Anyways, he is going like lethality, so he is pretty, does a lot of damage. He's gonna one-shot the Tristana most likely. Tristana gets one-shot, and that kind of ruins the dragon attempt. And Rakan somehow manages to kill Teemo 1v1. That's how behind Teemo is. He's 1-7. I think he's AFK at this point, because in the post-match lobby, it kind of shows that he was AFK. So I'm not sure where was the point that he AFKs, but maybe this was the point. Or like before this, I mean, because that seemed like really unnatural behavior. My team picks up the Ocean Soul, and I'm just here pushing out waves and getting some farm. So next up on the menu is going to be the Raptors. And here we spot Kayn, and if we get a pick on Kayn, we can of course do a lot, because not only is he one of the biggest problems in the enemy team, but he's also the jungler. So in the late stages of the game, getting rid of the jungler means you can likely get Baron and Dragon and stuff, and those are spawning now, so we're really keen to maybe get a pick onto Kayn. Now Tryndamere might be a bit too keen though, he dashes all the way in, and it's a little bit of a sticky situation. Here I'm trying to go ahead and push out the wave here so we can maybe push a tower or something like that, but my team goes ham and goes in onto Seraphine and Kayn. Tristana's there as well. I try to ult the Kayn, but he goes into stasis at the correct moment, and now he's trying to run away. I'm trying to slow him down. He gets the knockup on me, and this time I have my stasis, so I'm not taking any chances. I'm just going to stasis the ulti. He tries to get the knockup again, and once again I have to flash away, and he eats through my entire shield bow shield. Yeah, without Rakan for the CC, I cannot fight Kayn at all. So I'm just going to have to run away. And I'm just gonna recall here, which is not too bad. Akali actually manages to sneak away the mid inhibitor while Set was kept busy by Rakan, and Kayn was recalling. So that was a nice heist by our team. And here obviously both Elder and Dragon are up. So I'm just checking Elder with my E, and no one's doing it. So obviously this means that we wanna of course do it ourselves. But before we do that, we need to wait for Tryndamere to revive, and we're just gonna clear out the minions. Make sure we have some lane priority. We know Kayn is likely to be somewhere around this area because Elder is up and we're also overextended. So we have Rakan with us, we're not too afraid. Rakan actually splits from us, which is pretty bad. I try to actually get but Kayn somehow gets behind me, which is pretty weird. But anyways, with Rakan CC, you can see we can easily take down the Kayn. So Kayn's dead. This means it should be free Elder, free Baron, and should be able to end the game off of those. So here the enemy team again is not even trying. You can see that my Runaan's Hurricane is just killing the Skull Crab at the same time as the Dragon, which is pretty nice. And from here we're going to hit straight over to Baron, and take the Baron for free as well. And from there we should be able to just straight up push in and just end the game. So I'm getting mid priority, just so that we have a wave to push on if we need to. And here, just DPSing the Baron. We do get the Baron again without a contest, so we're just gonna run straight down mid most likely and see if we can end the game. Actually, we don't. They find a pick onto Tristana, and instead I'm the one left on pushing duty to push down mid. In the meanwhile, my team is finally joining up with me, and Akali does die on the side lane, unfortunately, which is pretty bad. She was trying to push in. Pantheon actually ults in to rescue the wave, and here, he buys us a little bit of time to free fire. The ult goes wide again. I'm gonna stasis the Kayn ulti once again. He mistimes the knockup and gets chunked really low. I'm just gonna launch my arrows from a distance and let the Elder Dragon finish the job. Now, Teemo's AFK. We only have Set and Seraphine to deal with. He tries to pull me in, but Rakan gets the very nice CC to, of course, make it such that he can't really do very much. He does get off his W in the end, but does only half my health, which is not too much of an issue. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and of course, goodbye.